for. What happens next? Only one way to know.
Breaking news as Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul has just been postponed. Netflix has recently put out a statement saying, unfortunately, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will not face off on July 20th as planned. Tyson's recent ulcer flare-up has limited his ability to train fully for the next few weeks. The fight will be rescheduled for a date later this year after Mike's able to resume training with no limitations and both fighters can have equal time to prepare for this once-in-a-lifetime matchup.
You heard that right. Netflix has just dropped the biggest bombshell about Jake Paul's future after his highly anticipated fight with Mike Tyson went up in smoke. Yeah, the fight that every boxing fan was waiting for isn't seeing the light of the day anymore, and Netflix has just shared the exclusive details on the entire fiasco. It's crazy. We're talking massive shakeups, explosive fight cancellations, and some shocking changes for Jake's future in boxing. Now, Jake's entire career is hanging by a thread. This was his one golden chance to prove himself to the world, especially to all the boxing purists who kept doubting him. And now, without that fight, without that Netflix doc to showcase his journey, Jake's future in the ring looks seriously shaky. The pressure was already on, but now it's cranked up to max level. Is Jake gonna find a way to bounce back, or was this his one and only shot at greatness? Let's break it down. Alright, so Netflix wasn't just gonna stream this fight, they were the official promoter for the whole thing. That's right, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was set to be the first ever live boxing event on the platform, marking a huge moment for both Netflix and the boxing world. It was more than just a fight, it was about Netflix stepping into the world of live sports in a big, bold way. The hype leading up to the fight was next level insane. Tickets were literally selling like hotcakes, gone in minutes. People were snapping them up left and right, and let's be real, who wouldn't want to see Jake Paul try to go toe-to-toe with a living legend like Mike Tyson? The excitement was off the charts. Fans, influencers, and even celebs were posting about it non-stop. Everyone and their mothers were marking their calendars and counting down the days to this epic showdown. It wasn't just a fight, it was about to be a cultural moment. But then, bam! Out of nowhere, Netflix drops the hammer and cancels the fight. Just like that, the dream match was over. No warnings, no heads up, they just called it quits, leaving fans shocked and confused. So what the heck happened? How did we go from the most anticipated fight of the year to Netflix saying, nah, we're out? Well, according to some rumors, there were a few factors behind the sudden cancellation. First off, there were serious concerns about safety. Let's be honest, Mike Tyson may be a beast in the ring, but he's not in his prime anymore. He's pushing 60, and even though he still looks scary, putting him up against Jake, a guy almost half his age, raised a lot of eyebrows. Netflix didn't want to risk anything going south in the fight, like a serious injury or an all-out disaster in the ring. The last thing they needed was bad press if things got too rough or unpredictable. Secondly, there's a money angle to this. Behind the scenes, Netflix reportedly wasn't confident that the numbers would add up. Sure, tickets were flying off the shelves, but there were concerns about the global viewership and whether or not the fight could live up to the massive expectations. Netflix has a reputation to uphold, and they're all about making smart business moves. If there was even a slight chance the fight wouldn't be the blockbuster hit they wanted, it's no surprise they'd pull the plug. And then we can't ignore the elephant in the room, Jake Paul's unpredictability. Let's face it, the dude thrives on chaos, controversy, and stirring up drama. Some insiders are speculating that Netflix didn't want to be too closely associated with someone as volatile as Jake, especially with his track record of wild stunts and controversial moments. The last thing Netflix needed was something spiraling out of control on their watch. Now we all know Jake. He's one to get cold feet, and if he pulled out of the fight last minute, then the whole thing would have been a major flop. That's a risk Netflix just didn't want to take. Plus, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you've seen all the Jake Paul steroid rumors. Yeah, word on the street says the athlete has been juicing up to prepare for the big fight, and Netflix didn't want to be associated with a potential cheater for all the right reasons. In an official statement, Netflix simply said, "We regretfully made the decision to cancel the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson event due to unforeseen circumstances that could not be resolved." But wait, fight fans, because it definitely doesn't end here. After pulling the plug on the fight, Netflix dropped some serious bombshells about Paul's future in boxing. And let me tell you, it's looking super uncertain. In a shocking twist, the streaming giant revealed that they would be pulling out of all things Jake-related. That means not just the fight, but they're also hitting pause on that big documentary they were crafting to showcase Jake's career journey. Yeah, you heard that right, all that hype for nothing.
Paul. This may be it! Oh!
Who's doing more than me? I'm the face of this sport.
The Disruptor.
This sudden move has fans buzzing with theories and ideas, and it's almost like people are starting to think that Jake had some kind of fallout with Netflix. I mean, how else do you explain such a dramatic U-turn? The doc was supposed to be a major highlight of Jake's transition from YouTuber to legit boxer, featuring all the hard work, sweat, and hustle he put into training. But now, it feels like Netflix just shut the door on his boxing aspirations completely. In their statement, Netflix said, "We will not be including Jake Paul in any upcoming projects, and we wish him well." It's all very formal and polite, but let's be real. The underlying message is clear. Jake's on thin ice, and here's the kicker. They went on to mention that Jake's credibility in boxing is now under serious threat. With the fight blowing up in smoke, he might struggle to find opponents willing to step into the ring with him. Talk about a nightmare for a fighter whose whole persona hinges on being a big-name contender. And the challenge doesn't stop there. Finding an opponent with the caliber of Mike Tyson? That's next to impossible. Tyson is a living legend, and Jake was lucky enough to have snagged him for a match. But Mike only agreed to fight because Netflix was in the mix. Now that the streaming service is out, it raises the question: who in their right mind would want to step into the ring with Jake? He might be entertaining, but the dude doesn't have the same level of respect that comes with fighting a legendary figure like Tyson. This whole situation leaves Jake Paul in a tight spot. He's built a career on being the center of attention, but without a fight lined up and with Netflix backing away, his whole identity as a boxer is crumbling. Fans are now wondering if this is just a temporary setback or if it signals the beginning of the end for Jake's boxing career. Will he bounce back? Will he find another major opponent to fight? Or is this the moment that his fame fades into the background, just another YouTuber trying to cling to relevance? Well, one thing about Jake Paul, this guy doesn't back down, not even when Netflix pulls the rug out from under him. The moment Netflix made their bombshell announcement, Jake was already on to the next thing. No waiting around, no time wasted. Instead of crying over the canceled Tyson fight, Jake went ahead and challenged Conor McGregor to an epic boxing match under his own boxing promotion, Most Valuable Promotions. I mean, if Netflix isn't going to back him, Jake's like, no Netflix, no worries.
My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds, the biggest fight offer you...
Hear me out. Jake knows that the Irishman won't just jump at any offer. He's got to make it worth Conor's time. And let's be real, if there's one thing McGregor loves more than fighting, it's that sweet, sweet cash. So what does Jake do? He throws a massive number on the table. $50 million. Yep, you heard that right. $50 million for McGregor to lace up his gloves and step into the ring with Jake. Now that's a lot of money even in the boxing world. Sure, Conor's got money already, but a payday like that? It's got to be tempting even for him. But let's talk about what the fans are saying. Some of Jake's loyal supporters are starting to question his loyalty. Is Jake just switching up opponents like he's flipping through tracks on a playlist? It sure feels that way. But let's be honest, we've seen Jake do this kind of thing before. Remember when Jake was supposed to fight Mike Tyson on July 20th but had to back out because of an ulcer flare-up? Yeah, that was a big bummer. But instead of letting that setback get to him, Jake made a quick switch and replaced Tyson with Mike Perry. Now, Jake did pick up a 6th-round KO win in that fight, but let's not act like it meant much. Mike Perry isn't Mike Tyson, not even close. That fight was almost too easy for Jake. Fans knew it, Jake knew it, and let's be real, even Perry knew it. It was a filler fight, plain and simple. Sure, Jake got his win, but did it prove anything? Not really. Everyone was still left wondering, could Jake really handle someone like Tyson? That's a question we never got the answer to. And now, with Conor McGregor potentially in the picture, it's starting to feel like deja vu all over again. Is McGregor even on the same level as Tyson? Let's break it down. Conor McGregor is a UFC icon, no doubt. He's a beast in the octagon and has made a name for himself with that killer left hand and his fiery trash talk. But here's the thing. McGregor is not a boxer. Yeah, he fought Floyd Mayweather back in 2017, but we all saw how that ended. Mayweather played with him for 10 rounds and then finished him off. Boxing is a different ballgame, and McGregor's skills just don't translate the same way. Now compare that to Mike Tyson, a literal boxing legend.
The baddest man on the planet.
Nobody could get close.
Tyson's power, speed, and intensity in the ring are on another level. Even at his age, the idea of facing Tyson in the ring is terrifying for most fighters. The man is a force of nature, and his boxing IQ is off the charts. McGregor may be a skilled fighter, but Tyson is an icon in the sport. No matter how you slice it, a fight with Tyson would have been much more meaningful for Jake's career than one with McGregor. So yeah, Jake's trying to keep his momentum going by switching gears and calling out Conor McGregor. But fans aren't exactly buying it. They're starting to see a pattern. pattern. Jake avoids the real tests and takes on opponents who either aren't on his level or who don't have the same legendary status as someone like Tyson. If Jake wants to earn real respect in the boxing world, he needs to face a legit boxer or someone with the same level of credibility as Tyson. So there you go, Fight World. That's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on Netflix's Bombshell news? Fill in the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news. See you in the next video.